and welcome back to the channel as we approach the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. And why is that significant? Well, because there's another battle for Britain going on right now in the skies over England, Scotland, I don't know, mainly England, I suppose. I don't know too much about UK geography, but Britain, it's all the little places, but mainly it's England, isn't it? I'm sorry, Welsh people, put down that sheep and those leeks and those potatoes and let's talk. Right, why am I bringing up the Battle of Britain? Well, because in the summer of 1940, a lot of very brave British people and people from the colonies risked and sometimes gave their lives to protect the freedoms of the British people. And they did this by opposing what seemed like insurmountable forces in the form of the Luftwaffe. The Luftwaffe had an enormous number of aircraft, an enormous military presence, and they were just 30 miles or something across the channel. They were sitting there waiting to invade. It was only thanks to the bravery, the courage, the selflessness of a relatively small number of people that Britain doesn't have a swastika flying over its parliament buildings right now. I mean, it was a fantastic, fantastic feat of human courage. I'm so impressed. If you haven't seen the film The Battle of Britain, go and watch it and look at the historical information. It was just an amazing time in British history. And it really brought out the best in the British people. They showed that they were fearless, courageous, and would work in unison to defeat a seemingly undefeatable foe. So now let's move 80 years ahead to 2020. And my, how things have changed. We now have another battle for Britain, as I said, and it is the battle for the skies that would be used by model flyers and recreational drone operators. But you guys have lost it. You've lost that battle. And you've lost it because you didn't show any of the courage, any of the selflessness, any of the bravery, any of the dedication that your great-grandfathers showed, or your grandfathers and great-grandfathers showed in the Battle of Britain. I tell you why. Because I said, don't register. For goodness sake, don't register. The CAA have proclaimed that you must register. And I said, don't. You've got to show by opposition that you're not willing to just accept these diktats that are handed out by bureaucrats and politicians who have no real idea of what's going on. There's no risk assessment. And the politicians get their information from the Daily Mail. It's like, it's all hype and hysteria. We've got Gatwick where there were no drones. We've got airliners claiming little shopping bags are drones. There's so much, I'll use the word bullshit out there. And that's on the basis on which these rules have been made. And if you accept them, you're accepting that you're basically lying down and giving up before the fight's even begun. And you should have looked to the USA. Now, when the FAA brought out rules that said you've got to register, I said to the Americans, don't register. And it took one man to actually effectively fight the registration thing. That was John Taylor. He took legal action and he won a case in court. But then, of course, the bureaucrats and politicians just rolled out their big guns and got the court decision. A new court overturned that decision. But at least he put a fight up. At least he made a point. He didn't surrender. He showed the British courage and selflessness to do that. Now, since then, the Americans have had to register. And I still said, don't register. But, oh no, it's fine. You just register and then everything's good. Until the day after Christmas, or just somewhere after Christmas, when the latest NPRM was rolled out in America, which says basically you're all going to have electronic ID on your craft, and if you're flying traditional models without ID, you have to fly in specifically dedicated little areas, and those areas are going to be phased out over time. So goodbye hobby, ta-ta, see you later. Well, I won't see you later. That's the end of the hobby in the USA, because by capitulating and all registering as faithful little people, they showed that they're a walkover. And as soon as you show the government of the day that they can do what they want with you, they will do what they want. Google is a powerful force. They spent tens of millions of dollars lobbying to get the rules they want. And if you just let them walk all over the top of you, then the government says, we don't have to worry, let's just take Google's money because these people are a walkover. Happened in the USA, and it's happening in the UK. Now you guys think, oh no, we'll register, it's fine, then with hobby safe. No, this is the thin end of a very long and well lubricated wedge that's being thrust between your buttocks. You don't even realize it. You've rolled over and said, okay, what's going to happen next? Well, already, if you look at it, already in the UK, it's illegal for under 18-year-olds to own, i.e. be the operator of a model aircraft weighing more than 250 grams. So kids have been kicked out of the hobby. No, I'm sorry, kid, you can't own that drone. You can't own that Cessna 172 foamy. You can't, no, because you're not 18. Yeah, you can fly it, but you can't own it. It is what? And now, of course, in the UK, it's got even worse. Now the police are being given massive powers of search, detention, seizure if they think you've been doing bad things with the drone. Just a suspicion. If they just suspect. If you're driving past an airport and there's a checkpoint, you've got a model airplane in the back seat, it's going to be seized. You're going to be frisked. You might be locked up because they're giving the police that power. Because you said, "Oh, we're just faithful little sheep. We'll give away the freedoms that our grandfathers and great grandfathers risked their lives and sometimes gave their lives to protect in the Battle of Britain. We'll give those away. We don't care. We've got to be lawful." And I've spoken to people in the UK and said, "Look, why did you register? What's going on? Why didn't you put up a fight? Stand up for yourself. Stand up for the hobby." And they said, "Oh, but we're law-abiding. I'm a law-abiding person. I have to follow the law." And my response is, you don't have to break the law to make a protest. It's winter in the UK, and UK winters are not the best flying weather. Even their summers aren't the best flying weather. There's been snow and wind and sleet and hail. Have you actually even flown? Because you could have lodged a protest by not registering and instead either not flying, just focusing on building on those cold winter days, or you could have flown sub 250. You could have done that and made your protest without breaking the law, but you chose not to. You just laid down and said, "Oh, take me, I'm easy." And so, bingo, the politicians and the regulators go, "This is a walk in the park. What can we do now?" And we can accelerate our plans to get these people out of the airspace because Google and Amazon, they're paying us a lot of money to get the rules they want. That's what's happening. So as of mid-year, despite the fact that you've had Brexit, or you're having Brexit, the EASA rules come in the UK. So not only are you getting these draconian police powers, and you're on the offenders list if you've registered, you're on the offenders list. They know who you are, where you are, because you're stupid enough to have given up those freedoms. But they're going to introduce the EASA rules. So even a little tiny whoop or whatever, you'll have to register it. It may only be 20 grams. You'll have to register. You have to register if you're going to fly one of those, because it'll have a data capture device. And under EASA rules, that makes it something that has to be registered. And you guys, I'm so disappointed. I bet there are pilots who gave their lives in World War II, Battle of Britain, who are spinning in their graves because they gave their lives for freedoms that today's model flyers and drone flyers have given up without a fight. Just given up, signed up, registered. Yep, there we go. Oh, job done. Seriously, do you not know the sacrifices that those people gave in the Battle of Britain to protect the very rights you've just signed away without a second thought? I am so disappointed in people. Where is your principles? Where's your backbone? Where's the courage that made Britain great? I don't see it. Well, I see it in a couple of places. Now I've been just keeping an eye on things. Roops, I'm a Gooley Bird, I think his handle is, Rupert. He flies, or he used to fly, very fast FPV electric models. A great guy. Saw him on the Spectra 50 channel, fantastic. I've loved his stuff. He said, no, not registering. He's got principle, he's got backbone, he's got courage. He's the kind of guy that had been right out there in front leading the Spitfire attacks against the bombers approaching London. He is a real Brit. He's, a courageous man. He's taken a stand. Good on you, Roops. And I saw another one, Cheltenham Flyer, is it? Same thing. They've chosen not to register, even if it means they're only going to fly sub 250 or maybe not fly at all. That is selflessness. It's not selfish. It's not saying, I want to fly, so I'm going to register and bugger the hobby. It's saying, I want to save this hobby. I think this hobby is important, so I'm going to take a stand. That's what was just totally missing in the UK right now. Too many people, too self-interested, too selfish, not concerned about the hobby. And the problem is, there goes my phone, you may have short-term gain, but the hobby's going to get lost. Without people protecting it, without people battling the seemingly insurmountable forces of bureaucrats and politicians, the hobby is lost. Britain may have won the Battle of Britain. They've lost the Battle of 2020 to keep the skies open for children flying models, for adults flying models. It's the beginning of the end. Look to the USA. Just look to the USA. That is coming to Britain. It's only a matter of time, as the Airline Pilots Association would say. So I'm so bitterly disappointed. My goodness, what can I say? Now, I've made no friends. Well, certainly there's probably 80,000 people, the ones who've registered in the UK, probably hate my guts right now, but I call it like it is. I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm telling you what I think, and I'm just telling you how bitterly disappointed I am that you have really, Oh, and I'm sure there would be a lot of, if those brave pilots from the Battle of Britain were alive today, they would be just absolutely disgusted at the willingness of you people to throw away the freedoms that they gave their lives for. It's not a good look. Not a good look. Britain is no longer the Britain it used to be. Remember that when the 80th anniversary celebrations of the Battle of Britain come round in a few months' time. Remember how you sold out the memories of those brave men. Shame on you. Shame on you. There you go. That's made me a lot of enemies in the model community, but I'm not here to make people happy. I'm here to protect the hobby. And I have to thank my Patreon supporters for supporting me so that I can support the hobby. There you go. Now to the comments with you. Bring your vitriol, bring your hate, bring your disdain for what I think to the comments. But if you think I'm right, say it down there too. It's a discussion that needs to be had. You guys need to get yourself sorted. Work out how you're going to try and win back the freedoms that you're giving away hand over fist. If you don't, they're forever gone. And the hobby will be just an entry in the history books. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.